Greetings from Rochester, Minnesota. Todd Almighty here. You're probably wondering, what am I doing in winter in Minnesota? But I live here now. And if you're like, well, why would you live in Minnesota? I certainly moved there in November before winter. Well, at the end of this block is St. Mary's Hospital, aka the Mayo Clinic, and that's where I'm on the heart transplant list. Hey, Todd Almighty here, and this is really to answer a question I get a lot, which is, what the hell? What's going on? You say transplant, you're at the Mayo, and it makes absolutely no sense. So I'm going to answer that question. I got my buddy Jason, JP Fresh, behind the camera helping me out. I'm finally getting around to vlogging about what the hell's going on. A lot of people think it's like, whoa, I said the word transplant in a video and people are like, what's going on? Hey Todd, what's going on? Transplant. It's like, it's not like I got here yesterday. So I'm gonna actually try to cover basically 30 years of being chronically ill in basically 3 minutes. But first and foremost, 1990, Christmas Eve, I walked out of the Cancer Treatment Center in Maryland. And it's like, you're cured. And it's like, yeah, I found out that cure's 5 years eventually. But I went to McDonald's, I get a vanilla milkshake, I go home, I make my biscuits, I eat them, I drink the milkshake, and I puke all that up while getting over Hodgkin's disease cancer treatment. Treatment in the 90s, radiation. So not exactly non-invasive, let's just say, and we didn't know back then the ramifications of what radiation treatments were doing to people. So basically, now it's Todd's 30 years in under 3 minutes. Can I do it, Jason?
Yes.
All right.
You have 2 minutes left.
My Cancer Chronicles. All right. You come out. You're cured with radiation. And first thing to go. First, the spleen never made it to radiation. Gone in the bucket with staging. Then, basically your thyroid, totally blown out. It goes. You start getting sluggish. It's like, why don't I want to get out of bed? I'm no longer a teenager. No, your thyroid's gone. Go on meds. Gallbladder. Oh my God. I look at an Italian hoagie and I want to die. Oh, that's your gallbladder. You probably have gallstones because of your radiation. Gone. Hey, I get really, really sore throats all the time. You'll notice I'll go hoarse. I'll go hoarse by the end of this. Who cares? My throat, shattered, gone. I'll be whispering. By the time I'm 65, I will be whispering, much to the enjoyment of my wife and close friends. What do you think, Jason? Another thumbs up on Todd whispering and not ranting. Hey, the big one, arteries. You want to paint you want to spray paint metal. You sand it first. It roughs everything up. Everything stick. Radiation, it sandpapers your arteries. They will clog faster with radiation than without radiation. Hey, you're fit. You're a cyclist. You're a skier. You're never going to have heart disease. Nah, radiation, arteries, shot, double bypass. Those cut you big, not fun. Vocal cords, I already mentioned, yeah, besides the throat, vocal cords, I already mentioned, gone. Heart, this is where it gets complicated. This is truly the reason why I'm living in Rochester, Minnesota at the Mayo Clinic. Chapter 2. This is Todd's heart. And if we're actually able to look at the various pieces here, and we can see that number one, we have the aortic valve. We have the aortic valve and the mitral valve over here as 1 and 2. On the other side, on the right side, you have pulmonary and tricuspid. And then you have the right ventricle, left ventricle. Pericardium is number 7. That basically is the sac that surrounds the heart. So right ventricle, left ventricle, and then the valves. So let's grade Todd's heart. So aortic valve. Okay, we're going to give that a big D to F. I'm close to an F. I'm not quite there yet. Mitral valve is the class I thought I was passing, and I was told after being evaluated for a study that I failed miserably, and my mitral valve is an F. Pulmonary valve. I don't know. I guess I never finished the class. I didn't do the work. They never graded it. You never want anything to go wrong with the pulmonary. Very few things go wrong, but if it does, that feeds your lungs. You stop breathing. I have a feeling that's bad. Tricuspid valve. That feeds your liver and kidneys, or your liver and kidneys return to the heart. And if your tricuspid valve is bad, that's really, really bad because you get really bloated because it's putting back pressure on your liver and kidneys. And F minus. That's where I really fail. Right ventricle, left ventricle. This is just the condition of the heart. Radiation beats on it, beats on it, beats on it. It's like tanned leather. I'm like an old lady sitting on a beach in Florida way too long for way too many years. My heart, F. F. Pericardium. That whole membrane around the heart. This whole thing. Everyone was really worried. These are lines in and out. Ignore those. This pericardium, this really is it surrounds the heart and it causes problems. Besides mine being attached to my liver somewhere over here and my lungs somewhere over here, I got a lot of issues there, and so that gets a big fat F. Okay, because of these three, the right, left, and pericardium, they decide if you have constrictive, does your heart not release? And restrictive, does it not compress? And you don't want either of these, frankly, and to have one is really, really bad. F. I tick all the boxes. So basically, every single one of these is pretty much fixable for the most part through drugs or through operations. You can get a tricuspid, you can get a mitral, you can get a aortic valve replaced. Pulmonary, they don't do. Medicines can help with left and right ventricle issues, and the pericardium can be stripped. And that's a really horrible, horrible surgery. And I actually looked up Mayo to do this. And that's why I came to Mayo, because I thought I was going to just have a pericardium removed. Nope, because everything else was wrong. I came this close to getting into a study for the tricuspid valve, because that was my worst thing ever. And they basically told me that if I fix the tricuspid on the right, it increases pressures on the left, and I will blow out the mitral valve, and that's really bad. You know, left side, you die of a heart attack. Right side is more likely liver and kidney failure. So that takes a while. So where left side heart attack can kill you immediately. So dealing with it. So what it came down to is the choice of, do I go for a surgery and try to fix one thing? Having radiation is the big like just wrench into the machine. There's always caveats on the studies. these outcomes, unless you had radiation, if you had radiation, it's worse off. And I had the radiation. So basically it came down to everyone agreeing. It's like the only thing we can do, Todd, is replace your heart. So that is how I made it on a heart transplant list. In a future video, I'll probably cover what you go through to actually get on the list and the number of appointments. I did 34 appointments in 5 days here. And that was like, it was kind of like a scavenger hunt. And I'm like, I'm hunting for a solution. I'm hunting for a cure, whatever you want to call it. And you're collecting all the little tick boxes. It's like, oh, I saw them, I saw them. And so that's kind of how I kept it in my head. And then other videos, you know, we'll see what questions people have, and just talking about, you know, some of the chronic disease stuff and how you keep sane by doing crazy stuff like riding e-mountain bikes in Rochester, Minnesota. So that's all I have. Go away. Give me a moment to gather my anger. You just asked me. It's like, all right. Any other questions? Like, what else? Seriously, dude, you're gonna ask me. It's like It's like, let's ask. Hey, Todd, the most horrible moments of your life. Let's relive them on camera together, and I'll film it for you. Isn't that great? And you answer with, what else could I do to him at this exact moment? Some friend.